astrology and the worker. It's gonna be a quick video because I don't have any notes this time, so I'm going off the top of my head and some things I've been thinking about. So this video is just about the type of worker by sign, by energy, whatever your dominant energy is. If you are someone who's a Capricorn sun, but you're an Aries moon, Aries rising, perhaps you're more Aries in nature for the most part. So let's get into it. So the Aries worker. Did have in video, so this video is just the essence of the sign. Okay, Aries tends to, some Aries can try things, and if they don't like it, they're going to leave. I think typically with Aries energy people, if I don't like where I am, if this is not for me, I know it's not for me. Very different than the next sign I'm going to describe. Okay, so Aries tends to, I've known Aries before, people who took a while to settle down at a particular job because they knew what they were looking for. And I do think typically with Aries, though we can say sometimes there's an impulsive nature, I don't think Aries for the most part, they know what they want. They know what they need. Okay. And so that's why sometimes when Aries is ready to leave, they will. Now, if you'll say, well, wait, I'm an Aries and I don't just bounce on my jobs. Well, I'm not doing a chart reading right now, right? This is just the energy of like, whether an Aries decides to stay or not, there is always going to be there's not this internal struggle that some signs may have about, should I stay? Should I leave? If an Aries is there, they're simply waiting for another chance. If they don't like where they are, if Aries likes where they are, they're going to put a lot of effort into it, but they have to kind of feel like they have a integral role. They have to feel like they have something to do. They have to feel like they're in charge of something. Do you want to be in charge of this committee? Do you want to be in charge of that? I'm thinking of one Aries coworker that I had before where this person was new, but they took on a lot of things because there's this constant need to see, where do I fit? Where do I fit? What can I do? Right? And so Aries, the Aries worker tends to really need to feel a sense of ownership at the place that they're working at. Having a role that is particular to them where they can just try new things or do something is very, keep them active, keep them moving, keep them doing something. That is typically what happens with the Aries type of worker, right? Now, of course, you can say, well, wait, what about Aries who, are more quiet or things like that? But the thing about Aries is this initiator. So if you do want to give a project to someone, if you do want someone to try something, if you do want someone to say, look, we just got these new things in, do you want to try that? Or, hey, I'm thinking of running this idea by such and such. Can you think of some new ideas and like give me, ways to think about how we can get this done? And sometimes Aries doesn't mind volunteering to be the first to try something, the first to do something. So if you want Aries to do anything, sometimes make it feel special. Like, you're the first one I'm sharing this with. We're going to try this new program. Here, can you try this software first? Like, the Aries worker likes to feel that they are being acknowledged for what they are good at, what they are. They are Aries, first house of the Zodiac. Taurus. Taurus can stick at a job for a certain amount of time, long time, because Taurus is about being resourceful and it's practical enough to understand I don't need to love every job I'm at. Now, again, where can this get tricky? Like I just mentioned, if you have a person who has Aries and Taurus energy, maybe there's which energy takes over, but Taurus does tend to need stability. So Taurus energy, and it doesn't have to mean you're a Taurus sun. You're a person with a lot of second house placements. You're like, no, yeah, I don't really like where I am, but I need money. And I'm going to stay here until I'm stable enough to leave, right? Which in some ways, I know that sometimes people can be unhappy, but sometimes that's smart. Like if you save enough, or if you're, now again, the thing is, you have to be working towards your dream. It is a possibility sometimes with Taurus energy getting stuck in something that's comfortable, but it isn't what they want internally. It's just what on the outside looks good. Typically the Taurus worker does well with find what they're good at and have them repeatedly do it. Taurus is great at habits. It is a sign that likes to feel comfortable because it likes to know what to expect. Because Taurus knows how to deal with what to expect. It is not its opposite sign, Scorpio, that can respond a little bit easier to unexpected things, a little bit, still a fixed sign. But Taurus wants to know what to expect. And Taurus typically is good at learning something if you show them how to do it. You need to show them how to do something. This is the third day on the job. Oh yeah, just do this thing. And here, read this manual here. That's not Gemini. That's not Virgo. You can't just tell them to read a manual and they're going to get it. Many Tauruses, whether they're creative or whether they're just good with their hands, tend to be more hands-on people. You have to show me how to do this, and then I'll get really good at it. So the Taurus worker tends to need that repetition until they get to the point where they feel confident in what they need to do, and then you can trust them. Usually, you can typically trust Taurus energy. Now, what I typically say, Taurus energy, it's two sides. You can have Taurus that's very predictable. They're show up to work on time. This is the thing with Taurus. They're going to leave on time. They're going to leave the same time every day. They're going to come in the same time every day. Okay. Like difference is you have some signs that'll show up on time and stay late. Taurus is like, remember, this is Venus. And Venus is like, I need to relax. So though Taurus can get the job done, it's typically not always be the sign there until like 6 o'clock at night if they're trying to be out by 4, if that's their time to leave is at 4 o'clock. Too much Taurus energy in the chart. You could have a person who stalls, who struggles to get something done because they know they're going to get it done, and it doesn't mean they can't be good work. When they get it done, it's usually very good, and it's done in a way that is very well put together. So you can benefit from giving the Taurus worker time, giving them a deadline. That's not a sign, and you might not be a sign that needs to rush. Okay. If you have different departments at work, don't put the Taurus in the high-paced setting unless they want you. Here, what I want us to understand about astrology is I tell my clients, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm never going to tell someone, you're this, you can't do that job. You're this, you can't do that. You're this. Oh no, you're not the sign that can be successful. No, that's that sign. You can do whatever you want to do. And in the world, we have plenty of examples of people, all signs who've done things. The difference is how do you work with your energy to get what you want? And so I'm not saying Taurus can't handle it. You can have a Taurus moon who's got all these other placements in the chart. Maybe a person who's a Taurus moon, but they're Gemini, and they have Mercury in Gemini, and they have Virgo rising, and they have Venus in Gemini. You know, like maybe this is a Taurus who can do this. Anybody can do whatever they put their mind to, usually. The point I'm making is the energy of Taurus tends to like to take its time. It likes to get everything together. It likes to see what it has, likes to touch, it likes to feel, it likes to be in its element so it can make that decision. And so typically the Taurus worker does best with the groundwork, the planning, the figuring out where things are going to go, the actual putting things together, or like doing things that are very like procedural in nature is typically how Taurus energy likes to work. Gemini, the Gemini worker, well, they're going to be the ones that can get all the information, right? They are going to be the ones who kind of know what's going on. They already know, you always know what's going on in every work setting. They know, right? Because some Geminis, not all, but a very typical Gemini is very social or talkative for a different reason than the other air signs. But Gemini wants to know what's going on. They have to know. They're curious. They're always like curious, you know? So with Gemini, they're good at putting together the letterhead. They're good at putting together the communication. They're good at proofreading. Maybe you're a worker, you know, or you're a boss, but you're not really good at grammar, or you're not good at proofreading. You can get a Virgo or a Gemini to do that, right? But Gemini can get it together, you know, how to say things. Gemini can be really good at kind of getting people to talk. Gemini can be good at leading committees where people have to come together and kind of generate ideas. If you're looking to run an idea and you want someone to say like, oh, hey, you know, what do you think about this? Or what does everyone else think about this? The Gemini worker likes to be in the know. So you don't want to keep them out of the loop. You don't want to, you know, your assistant is a Gemini and there's something important going on, but you don't tell them. And now they're upset because Gemini energy thrives off knowing the information so they can circulate it and just understand what it is that they're trying to do. So I do think with Gemini workers, you tend to need mental stimulation. They need mental stimulation. Talk to them, get them thinking, because that's typically going to be the way in which you can get them excited to be there or to be at work. And so typically with Geminis, I would say that's what it is. Now, sometimes you have Geminis who are just like the more quiet type. And so you wouldn't know off the bat what their opinion is or what they're thinking about something. But I do think with the Gemini worker, this is a person who thrives off being in the know of what's going on. So to keep them happy, it's sometimes about just that small talk. It might just be asking them how they are, getting them to talk, getting their ideas out. I also think with Gemini, they're typically good at like getting other people opinions and buy-in, right? So if you're trying to see like, how's the rest of the team feel? How does the rest of the staff feel about this? Your Gemini person is typically going to be the one who kind of knows what everybody's thinking, what everybody's saying in a way. So that can be a good way to leverage them as well to really get a good gauge of what's going on around you. Okay. Now but yeah, definitely giving them mental tasks, giving them written tasks or verbal tasks or tasks that use their idea formation, their creativity, maybe even can be good. The Cancer worker. Now, the Cancer worker person is going to be one where they benefit from finding someone they like at work, finding someone they feel close to. So it's kind of like the new kid at school energy. You know, when you first go into an environment, remember, Cancer is home. It's trying to find out, do I belong here? Do I see people like me? Because remember, the fourth house is home, its roots and background. So Cancer energy is very much closely related to people who are like you, who come from the same place as you, who look like you, or whatever the case may be. And so with Cancer energy, sometimes, you know, they pairing them up with someone the first day at work to and I'm not saying you have to find someone who's just like them. Making them feel comfortable is going to be really important for the Cancer worker. Making them feel at home. Here's your space. Here's your off. Like, don't hire them and not show them where the coffee maker is, not show them where to go. That's going to be uncomfortable for the Cancer person because they like to know the layout of their land, their environment. Cancer can be really good with the environment. There is typically a very specific way Cancer likes to see their physical environment. If you pay attention to anyone who's a Cancer, look, like especially YouTubers, if you know any YouTubers who are Cancers, look at their physical environment. Look at how everything is like, it supports their sense of comfort. And so that is going to be important. And maybe it's not an environment, maybe it's not an office setting. Maybe it's not an office setting. But Cancer workers tend to do well when they feel supported. Like, don't just give them a task and not say, hey, how's it going? Because then they might tell you how they really feel about it. Well, you know, this is kind of difficult. Okay, well, this is how you do it. So really like making them feel welcomed and really helping them understand that there is a support system tends to be good for Cancer energy in general. And it really doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be a construction worker and, you know, you want to check in with your new employee and say, hey, how's it going? You know, you feeling all right with this, you know? And again, some people are going to be more forthcoming than others, but Cancer will appreciate that you asked how they felt. And again, it's not about, you know, warm hugs and stuff like that, because I know in many settings, it's not appropriate at work, right? Now, sometimes you work with friends and there's a different dynamic going on there, you know what I mean? But with the Cancer worker, I mean, though, when Cancer's not into something, you're going to know it. When they're not into something, they're not able sometimes to give their full effort. So it is important when you're dealing with Cancer workers or Cancer people to make sure you have buy-in. They're a cardinal sign. There's an initiation. When they care about something, they're going to put so much of their own special, you know, touch on it. But when you are dictating to them what to do, but it feels out of alignment with what they really feel like doing, that's where sometimes you can see some resistance. And so with Cancer, it's important sometimes to gauge how they are really reacting and responding to situations. If they seem off, they are off. Meaning the off that, I'm not talking about like off, but I'm like, if you notice, oh, they're quiet that day, oh, they're different. There's a reason for that, okay? And so it's not about chasing someone down to make them feel better, but it is about building a relationship. Cancer people are great with relationship and maintaining relationship. And so if you want your Cancer worker, co-worker, employee, whatever, it's important really to find out what they find important. And when you find their style, then it's going to be easier for you to understand them and understand where they're coming from so you can best leverage their skill set. Leo. Well, the Leo person sometimes can be really, what's the word I want to say? Really, not just engaged, outgoing. You know, they want to do everything. I want to do okay, I'll do the welcome committee. I'll do the staff, you know, joy committee. I'll do this. Oh, we're having a party for Pam at the office. Are you going to sign her card and donate money? Like Leo is that type of involved. The Leo employee wants to be involved. So whatever you have going on, whatever type of culture that you have at the workplace, they want to be involved in that, okay? And so sometimes you can leverage that because Leo wants to be the best and Leo wants to be good at something. So sometimes you do want to praise them, not overly praise them, to the point. Now, I want us to be careful. Not every single Leo is super confident. You know, I knew a Leo once, that I worked with that was a person who didn't expect to get compliments. you know? So this was a person where when they did get compliments, they were really genuinely like, oh, really? Because they didn't expect it. So I do think it's important, but that's still the Sun and Leo need, or the traits. This person is like, I'm trying my best, and I do need someone to notice that, even if I'm not doing it in an egotistical way. So with Leo, it is about finding what they're the best at, and they can be your biggest cheerleader. They're going to be wearing the company logo. They're going to be, oh yeah, I'm about to recruit someone. Like, they want to be seen. And so you can really utilize that by inviting them in. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so you know someone that can, do this? Like, let Leo shine, but at the same time, it's not about inauthentic praise. No. It's not about praising them for every little thing they do, okay? But it is about, the Leo worker is going to be someone that does want to bring something. So you sometimes have to let them, and they can maybe have new ideas. They can be creative. They can be a little stubborn sometimes. So Leo can be like, oh yeah, I have a great idea. Let's do this. And it's like, but it doesn't work. So you have to learn how to work and navigate with that with Leo, because you don't want to shut them down completely. But sometimes there are things that, in Leo, the sun revolves around Leo, right? Leo sometimes doesn't understand, it's not Aquarius. So it is sometimes an important layer of teaching that Leo person to use their best attributes. Maybe they can train someone else to be good too. You know what I mean? Like, how do you let them utilize that in a way where they're not monopolizing all of the praise, or they're not monopolizing the department or the crew or something like that? Because Leo does have the ability to make other people feel upbeat, right? Make them feel better about their surroundings. All right, come on, we only got 5 more. You only got 5 more, hours, and then we can go out after work, But the thing is, with Leo, it's very important to, build them up. They can be good leaders. So how do you train them to also delegate? How do they influence other people? Not to become them, but they can notice what other people are good at as well. And you can use that to build up a stronger team. With Virgo, well, with the Virgo worker, give them tasks. Give them things to do that can be done. Give them things to do that allow for them to figure out something that's a problem, maybe, right? Organizing something, right? If Virgo feels there's a reason for being complex, they'll do it. If there's a reason, Virgo likes to feel useful. So when Virgo feels like, I can go in every day and I'm going to do this. I go in every day and I organize the money drawer. I go in every day and I fill out the sheets. I go in every day and I turn on off all the lights in the warehouse. I turn on all the lights in the warehouse. I do all of that. Virgo likes to feel that they are useful and that they know what to do next. They are very procedural, okay? So when you're training a Virgo or dealing with a Virgo, like, just tell them exactly what it is you need them to do, and they typically will do it. The worst thing you can do is not fill them in on something. Oh yeah, you did that wrong. First of all, criticizing a Virgo, Virgos are already hard on themselves typically. Criticizing a Virgo about something you didn't tell them to do can be a problem, because Virgo is like, well, I would have done that right if you told me in the first place. So, sometimes you get trainings at work and it's kind of this very like, vagueness, right, to things. But it's like, the Virgo employee, you can't be vague. You need to be specific, and then you're usually going to get that result. You can usually leave them alone just to get something done, like get out of their way, let them do what they need to do, and they're typically going to try to make sure it's the best. You could have Kathy in the office, who's she's the one who wipes down the coffee maker. She fills up the coffee pods for everybody. She organized everything. Like, give them, like, Virgo likes, like, once you see Virgo's good at something and they keep doing it, it's kind of like Taurus in a way, but Taurus is more of that predictability. It is literally the manual hands-on work type of stuff most of the time. But like, that's how they typically work. They need to know what to expect, and they need to just, sometimes Virgo's not going to ask you for praise. It's not Leo. You're not really commanding a space. Virgos don't really command the space. So it is important sometimes just to give them like that, that nod. Like, yeah, you did a great job with that. Because Virgo sometimes doesn't know if it's good enough, But with the Virgo worker, that's typically what you're going to have. There is this kind of level of perfection. Springing something on them last minute is very difficult for Virgo, because Gemini can handle last minute things better than Virgo, because Virgo needs time to process and analyze and really think through, how am I going to do this, right? It's an earth sign. It wants a result. So it's hard sometimes when hey, Virgo, actually, you're working in this department today. And so Virgo might, okay, trying to be polite, but really the Virgo's mind is like spinning because now, okay, wait, so I'm not, it could be a person that works in like, Sam's Club or something like that. Like, all right, I'm not a cashier today. I have to work in the bakery. I'm subbing for someone. Okay, I forgot. I only did this one time. Like Virgo gets anxiety when you're putting them in positions randomly that they didn't sign up for, or they didn't know about. So that's typically giving them a heads up, letting them work in the space where they are the most efficient. Libra. Your Libra worker typically is going to be someone that also, kind of like Cancer, needs to feel a level of acceptance, needs to feel a level of relatability. Libra's coming into the place and it's like, I need to find someone who I feel will kind of be a thought partner, someone who kind of gives me the sense of, yeah, this is a place where I feel harmonious. I feel like I'm welcomed here. Really early on, Libra typically will make friends or make associates and, make a name for themselves. I think the best thing you can do with Libra energy is Libra is a good person to ask if you really want to see the opposite, to see multiple perspectives on something. Now, Libra can struggle with indecision, but if you ask Libra, hey, here are two things. Can you talk through, if I do this, what could be the problem there? So typically with Libra, you're going to have a person who's able to do that intellectual work with you. Now, Libra, to believe it or not, Libra is great at helping other people see both sides, but sometimes in their own personal decisions, Libra can struggle, right? They have to make their own decisions, but Libra is great to really talk through different things. Libra is also great for bringing people together, mediating. If people have to work on a team, throw that Libra in there. Oh, these two people don't get along. Throw the Libra in there. Because Libra's energy is like cardinal. First of all, if it's a Libra person about their business, it's cardinal, their cardinal sign, they're trying to get business done, right? And so if you have that type of Libra energy in the team, we're going to get it done. And there's less taking stuff personal. Libra doesn't like to be the bad guy, but Libra is not a sign that really takes it so personal, certain things, this air energy. So typically with Libra, it's like, well, so-and-so you said this and so-and-so you said that. Okay, well, why can't we just do it like this? And if the Libra gets along with the people on the team, then people don't view it as, oh man, they're trying to come at me. Libra likes to be, and this is where I think people don't understand, like, sometimes it's good to have a Libra around who doesn't care about, who's not as extreme with power about like, oh, it has to be done this way. Libra's like, oh, that way, I didn't think of it like that. Okay, well, we'll use this idea and that one. Okay, let's move on. All right, great. Like Libra sometimes can be that great mediating energy to help something move along. So if you're trying to create harmony, it's not that it's the Libra's job only, but putting a Libra on a team or putting a Libra there, you're going to get a person who is able to see probably two perspectives. They're able to navigate different conversations with different people as well. They're going to find, oh, we have a new client. I'm a little concerned because, this person doesn't get along with anybody. Well, Libra, one, if you have the Libra person who doesn't really take stuff personally in the first place, and they're going to go in there and find something. Oh, you graduated from such and such college. So did my sister. Do they still have those tennis courts there? They get the people talking, and then all of a sudden the client warms up. So that's a skill that you can use, utilize and leverage with Libra. Scorpio. Well, Scorpio is going to be the sign. I feel like what I've seen a lot with Scorpio, co-workers and employees. Scorpio was very dependable, I think, in terms of typically certain signs are just going to show up to work. You don't, oh man, so-and-so's 5 minutes late, didn't tell anybody. Usually it's not your Scorpio. Your Scorpio is going to tell. Scorpio, I notice, is really good at holding their dedications. Like whatever they're dedicated to, typically Scorpio is going to follow through all the way. And so if you do have a more difficult job or a difficult task that has to get done at your office or your work or your warehouse or your company or wherever you work, it is going to be helpful to have a Scorpio on your team. Scorpio wants to transform things. So Scorpio might come in and say, okay, this is not working. This is a mess. Yeah, we're going to, nope. They're like, we're going to scrap that and we're going to do it like this. Because Scorpio is really good at noticing, observing when something's off, when something doesn't really feel right. Scorpio is really good at understanding like, oh, this is not going to work for me. Like this doesn't feel comfortable. It's kind of like how Taurus understands their environment, but Scorpio is more of an internal thing. And it's like, Yeah, we're gonna change that. We're not doing that anymore. Yep. So and so, yep, your old boss did it that way. No, we need to do it like this. So Scorpio is good at dealing with difficult things. I'm not saying giving every difficult job or task to the Scorpio on your team. That's not what I'm saying. But Scorpio likes to transform. It kind of sometimes likes molding something, creating something into something that was different, that was not even there before. Sometimes you can see with Scorpio energy. I've seen Scorpio coworkers do that. They take something that's lit, a nugget. It's just like, oh yeah, someone has an idea. Okay, here's Scorpio. And Scorpio was like, it's evolving, it's evolving, it's evolving, because Scorpio wants it to become something powerful. And I think that that is something dynamic when you have a Scorpio. Now, Scorpio want to be the most talkative person on your team? Probably not. But Scorpio wants to work hard. They give them something that requires their time, and it requires them to really use it serious. Give them something. Don't give them something small. Don't give them something small. Hey, peel stickers off of this. Don't you, I mean, nobody wants to do that, right? I mean, but I'm saying, like, Scorpio needs something that feels heavy, that feels like this is a, this is a challenge. Now, again, I'm not saying to be unfair. I'm not saying give all the work to Scorpio and, your Libra gets to just chill outside, sipping an iced tea with the coworkers. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying a Scorpio person needs to feel that what they're doing is important, and what they're doing can help change something. What they can help do is transform. First day on the job, look at, and again, it depends on the job. So some of the stuff I'm saying will make sense for the job you're doing. Now, if you are a teacher and you go to work and they say, hey, organize this basement, you're going to be like, that's not my job. But if you work in a store, or you work in a warehouse, or for a company that, where there's items, and that's your job description, that you're, moving things. Your job description is, labor, you're physically moving things. You might tell a Scorpio, look at this. This is our inventory, room. And then Scorpio's like, this is a mess. Like, you need to, change, especially if it's a Scorpio with some Virgo energy. Yeah, they can get that organized, and they can get that to looking better, right? Sagittarius. Well, your Sagittarius person, I think similar to Scorpio, needs to feel like what they're doing is something that matters, right? Scorpio, give them a serious task, something that requires them to make something, like you're going to see something change into something else. Sagittarius, they need to feel like what they're doing is actually creating some level of a higher, bigger cause, right? What I'm doing is going to help X, Y, and Z. Sagittarius tends to like to be busy. You can give more tasks to the mutable signs, especially Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, okay? Because Virgo is fine multitasking as long as they know what to do. All right, as long as you tell them what to do, how to do it, what's supposed to look like. Virgo, leave them alone, they'll do it. Gemini, hey Gemini, we have like 5 different things we have email we need to send, we need this campaign done. Gemini, typically, right? And Sagittarius wants to get active. So remember, this is fire. So Sagittarius is going to be, this is someone that you want on your team who is kind of outreaching. We need somebody to go to the office over in the next city. That's Sagittarius. Give them, now again, short travel is Gemini. So Sagittarius people, I know Sagittarius is long-term, but it can also be like, they're the ones willing to go to another country even, they're the ones willing, hey, we need someone to represent our team at this conference in Canada, and again, I'm in America, so, it's another country, but you might go, or you want to go, this conference in, in Spain, or whatever the case may be. Sagittarius wants to roam. They don't mind representing the company. They don't mind exploring, experiencing something that's different. So the Sagittarius worker does tend to also need a little bit of freedom. Okay. Yeah. Most of them are on time. Some people are on time all the time, but some signs, Now, I'm not saying personally because of the Sagittarius I know, but I'm saying other situations that I've seen where it's not Scorpio, it's not Virgo, whatever signs one more time. Capricorn is going to be on time, okay? Sagittarius needs a little bit of freedom. So this might be the person where, waking up early may not be their thing. You might say, okay, Sag, you start later, or they have more flexibility, I guess is what I'm saying. They still have to do the same amount of work, but your Sagittarius person thrives off doing something that requires them to be alert. They thrive off something that requires them to be giving a lot of their energy to something that is going to matter in the long run. Remember, Sagittarius is about seeing things through in a holistic way, the truth, the journey. So if you want Sagittarius might even be the one you want to reach out to different people, of different cultures, bring other people in. Maybe you work for a company where you need diverse voices. That's Sagittarius. The person who is welcoming other people, the person who is not the one that's, sometimes in certain positions, certain jobs, you have people that are welcoming and some people who are a little, what's the word, judgmental. You can have some people who are bigoted or something like that. With Sagittarius, if it's the average Sagittarius person, there's more of a willingness to like, no, okay, because I'm intrigued. Like, Sagittarius is going to understand what other people are experiencing because that's just curiosity. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this person. So like, I'm going to be more welcoming and opening. And so Sagittarius can be great for allowing, again, it's like almost like all the fire signs in a way, can be more of that inviting, especially Leo and Sagittarius. I think allowing Sagittarius different experiences in the workplace. So remember I said certain signs, let them know what they're supposed to be doing and don't change things up without them knowing. That's more like a Virgo, Taurus thing, maybe even Capricorn, but definitely for a Sag, I think you could get away with that. They like the experience. Okay, you're going to work. They get bored. They get bored easily. Sagittarius gets bored easily. So you want to give them a challenge. You want to give them something where they now have to bring other people in or create something. Telling them, okay, today we need you to work here. Today we need you to work there. And I'm not saying to put them on the spot. This is not me saying tell them 2 minutes before, but I'm saying Sagittarius wants experience. It's a person where all their experiences are going to help them down the road. I tell people that often who are looking for, guidance career-wise. And they're Sagittarius, and they're like, yeah, I've worked here and worked there, and I'm working here right now, but I don't like it. Well, what about that experience can you use? Because Sagittarius, at the end of the day, you become wiser, you become more knowledgeable. And so whatever your path is down the road, this can help. So it actually benefits you, Sagittarius, to be in different departments. It actually benefits you when a new position comes up to go to it. It benefits you in that way. When you're looking for someone who's a little bit adaptable, flexible in terms of what they can manage and what they can do, and allows them an opportunity to learn new skills and learn new things that they can take with them. That's your Sagittarius worker. When you're training them, maybe you're training them to do multiple things. Now, again, I'm not saying go collect people's signs and sign them things. That's sometimes I think people use astrology backwards. They find out the information and they treat someone like their sign. No, learn the person first. Be around the person first. Then worry about the astrology or keep it in the back of your mind. You don't, I think obsessing over their chart and, first day, like, oh, what's your, I don't think that's necessary all the time. Okay. And I say that as an astrologer, that people can become obsessed to the point you don't have intuition because you're obsessing over the astrology. And astrology and intuition, yes, for those, many of us, it can go hand in hand. But I'm saying you want to avoid doing things based off what you saw online, based off what you read, but the person doesn't even exhibit that because they're a different deck in Aries. But you're judging them off a description you read online. But that Aries actually isn't even like that, right? We're talking about Sag. But yeah, I think Sagittarius can more readily handle different things. So you might ask them, hey, next week so-and-so's out. Do you mind working in this? Because if you get experience driving the forklift, then you can do that. Like, sell them on what they can do. If you do this, then you can do that. Capricorn. Okay. So your Capricorn person is coming into the job. They're going to really be, typically they're going to follow things by the book. They're going to follow things the way that it is at first. Capricorn is coming in, understanding that there's a hierarchy. This is typically not a person the first day on the job saying, oh, I got it, I know everything. That's a different sign. That could be a different sign. But Capricorn is coming in. Sometimes they're coming in under a situation where they have a plan, though, is what I want to say. They have a plan. A Capricorn coming to your job and they don't know what they want in 5 years, or they don't know why they're there. Now, they could be there just because they need a job, but Capricorn has plans. And sometimes you can help by dangling in their face, like, yeah, we have room for growth here, especially if you got a Sag Capricorn, or a Cap with a Sag moon, a Capricorn with a Sag rising. Now, again, you may not know that information. That's not the point. Maybe I'm talking about you, right? The point with Capricorn is they are about goals and ambition. You have to tell them what they're going to get, right? What am I going to get from being here? Is it insurance? Is it in 5 years? Is it a training program, right? Is it, okay, this is your 90-day, what do they call it? Trial period? No, it's not trial period. What is it? I don't remember any. This is your 90 days. You know, your 90 days, when you work for 90 days before you actually get the full benefits or whatever. This is your 90 days probationary period. And after this, you're going to have this and that. And so when you have, and they're really good delegates of other people. Now, the first day on the job, the Capricorn is probably not delegating, but Capricorn is good at knowing who needs to do what. You need to do this. You're good at this job here. So-and-so go here. You need to get off the floor at this point because we need you to go back and do this. You need to do the inventory. You need to load this off the truck. You need to go, put these files together. We need you to write this report, whatever you work in, whatever field, whatever job you work in. But Capricorn eventually over time. So your Capricorn worker, you do want to, watch them and see how they handle situations, because if you're at a job that requires procedure, they're going to be really good at following the rule. This is how we do things. Understand that's the Capricorn signature. So if you're cutting corners somewhere, yeah, your Capricorn employee might look at you crazy, because Capricorn is about the law, the rule, the tradition. But wait, you told me I was supposed to do it like this, but now you're telling me to do it like that. So putting them in a position where that's important. So maybe you have a department, there's many different things you could be doing. Maybe you're the Capricorn and you're like, let me work in this department. I have a choice because this is one that capitalizes off my goals, and it also capitalizes off my ability to see things through all the way. That department over there is a mess. They don't follow any rules. They don't have a good lead, right? So if you're a Capricorn worker, that might be a way to think about how to utilize your energy. You're going to do, that doesn't mean you're always in a rigid box. Maybe maybe you've run this in Capricorn as well. Doesn't mean you're always in a rigid box, but it does mean that those are the traits that you're going to feel the most comfortable exhibiting, especially at work. At work, unless you're working in some emotional fields, most people are using their sun, their Mercury, and their Mars at work for the most part, right? Let's be honest. That's where most people are. Maybe Saturn, if you're in an authoritative position. Yeah, so that's with Capricorn, the Capricorn worker. Sometimes you do have to, teach them to be a little bit flexible, because Capricorn is going to assume we're supposed to do things the right way, right? We're supposed to do it the right way. So that's what I'm going to do. Similar to Virgo, right? These earth signs are going to assume we're doing it the right way. We're doing it the way to produce results. We can't just do things because it's easy. So what if it takes longer? We got to get this done. So that's where you can expect with them, the Capricorn worker, but they like to do well. They tend to want to do well. They're going to keep trying until they do it well, because there is this need for excellence. Whereas Leo needs to be seen doing it. Capricorn needs to feel that they are moving towards a point where they can be respected and they can be noticed, right? Aquarius, well, the Aquarius worker, like I said, was kind of like our friend Sag. There is a need for freedom in a way, but this is the person who you can benefit from this person being in a position where they have to kind of create something, or they have to kind of test things out. They kind of have to, maybe their role at the restaurant is to create new recipes. Maybe that's their role. Maybe their role in the lab is they're testing out this new, I don't know. They're testing out this new medicine, or you're testing out this new theory, or you're testing out, if you're in medicine, you're testing something out. If you're working in science, you're testing something out. If you are working in technology, you're testing something out. Your Aquarius person may be they can do a lot with the technology. If there's something not working, get your Aquarius on that computer, right? Not all Aquarius, but Aquarius energy does tend to do well with technology. Even if you aren't a Sun and Aquarius person, typically there's a love, appreciation, or something with technology that this person tends to experience or be good at. Your Aquarius worker, now they do care a lot about fairness. They care. Now again, so does Libra, but Libra's going to do it with a smile on their face, like, hey, I thought about this, and so-and-so, he's been working overtime a lot, and he's got kids at home. I can take it on, Aquarius is more watch out. No, I'm joking. Aquarius understands when something is not fair and right. And there's this humanitarian effort in the Aquarius person. And so Aquarius can sometimes be good at coming into a job, depending on their role, and making things more equitable, making things better. Like, hey, workers' rights and things like that. But Aquarius also is going to notice when something's not fair. They're going to notice and see, wait a minute, so-and-so gets time off, but I didn't get my time off. And Aquarius is not emotionally connected to things like other signs. So it is going to be important to understand that Aquarius is thinking very logically, but they're not connected as much to this specific role. They are more connected to what they're going to do in order to impact other people. And so with Aquarius, it's not as simple as, well, Aquarius, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. Aquarius is not an earth sign, right? It doesn't take pride in that like an earth sign may. Aquarius is like, wait, this isn't right. And sometimes the thing that Aquarius does, they actually go into a space and they can make it better because they're not boxed in. They can say, hey, my last job, we did this differently. We actually rotated. We had shifts. And we would communicate with each other about time off. That way we could get our time off and we could collaborate. That's an example of like an Aquarius type of worker. Like they're thinking literally outside the box. They're using information, but except for taking the information at face value, Aquarius wants to experiment with that information. And so because of that, Aquarius sometimes can be good at understanding what the community needs. They understand what other people need because they're like, wait, our company's been doing this for a long time, but we're actually not capitalizing on this population and that population and this population. So Aquarius is good to come into a situation if you need a little bit of new energy. Like we need something new. We've been doing this for so long. We need somebody who has the guts. Now, I'm not saying every Aquarius coworker is coming in to do that. That is not their job. I'm not saying this person's an Aquarius, they're not going to save your team. I'm saying that could be the energy of an Aquarius worker. Lastly, Pisces. Your Pisces workers. Your Pisces workers are really going to be there in a way to give a sense of helping us see what is possible. What I like a lot with Pisces energy that I've noticed in particular one time with a Pisces coworker, when I first met this coworker, their frame of thinking was different than other people's, meaning they would bring up really thought-provoking questions about something that kind of helped us understand the possibilities. Well, if we did this, then this. And it helped us connect to something outside of our current reality. Pisces is really good for being in places where they need to create a different reality. We need to create a different environment. This is a little too harsh. It's a little too, there's too much energy that's negative. Pisces energy can sometimes come in and be someone who's able to kind of connect everyone in a way. I'm not saying that's your job. I'm not saying you go in as a Pisces and that's what you do. But the Pisces worker needs to feel a sense of this is a place where I can feel uplifted. If I go into a place and I feel like there's too much harshness, there's too much negativity, I kind of can't handle that and I can't be within that. So sometimes a person that's especially a person that's a very confident and a very active Pisces person, they come in with a vision. This is my vision for the company. What's going to look like this. And then everyone's like, how? But no, that's not how we do things. We've been doing it like this for 5 years and our profits are down. Well, Pisces is, and again, depending on the person's chart and everything else, they're there to help us envision another possibility. And also they kind of can give people hope. I think in terms of even the way, now, you can have Pisces who are too much into their sadness. There could be Pisces who are a little bit too much into sadness or pitying themselves. You do have those types. But the ones who are more of the inspirational types are also the people who kind of uplift other people. They understand, we're not there to beef. It's not a competitive type of, they don't care about employee of the month. They don't care about that. The Pisces person is there in a way because they understand there's things beyond these physical things. And so sometimes, yeah, we all have to work no matter how inventive we are. But Pisces has very good visions about things without disrupting. Aquarius can be great because sometimes we have to disrupt things that are wrong. But Aquarius is more disruptive. They can get everybody riled up. Right? It depends. But Pisces is, we're going to change things. We're mutable. We're changing this. We're going to make our vision, but we're not doing it in a way to necessarily disrupt anything. We're inviting other people to be a part of us, right? And that sense of compassion and that sense of understanding sometimes that you need. Certain workplaces are very difficult to be in, but that Pisces person can sometimes be a little bit of that they don't have. They're not the competitive type. They're not the person at work that's trying to, oh, I'm gonna take your job. Now, don't get me wrong. Can Pisces be delusions? Can Pisces energy be deceptive? Anybody could be deceptive. But yeah, Neptune can be deceptive. If the person's chart supports it, yeah, of course they can. So this is not saying they're perfect and they're just going to hold you and make you better. But I'm saying the Pisces worker has a vision. The Pisces worker has a creative way of looking at things. The Pisces worker tends to have a different way of viewing situations that other people may view as ordinary. And Pisces is here to help us understand what is possible. And so oh yeah, we could fix that up. How? Like, I feel like a lot of times people have a lot of doubt. And I think Pisces and Sagittarius in particular, I think, are the signs that really help us see what we can do. Sag is going to be a little bit more convincing. Sag is a little bit more opinionated about things. But with Pisces, it's this gentle nudge of you trust it. And because it's not browbeating you, you trust what they say a little bit. You kind of can get a little bit more of that person that you feel what they're saying is really going to be to uplift and make something better. And it's not really I'm trying to get this position over you. I'm trying to get this raise. I'm trying to, And so I think with the Pisces worker, you do tend to have more of that. The person who is, and it's like the work they do well, there's a humility to that, I think. And their opposite sign is Virgo. And Pisces workers that I've known, there isn't a ego thing. They're very humble a lot of times. When you tell them, like, you did a great job, there's not this, yeah, I know, or I'm the man, or I'm the woman. There's really not that. And so I think with Pisces, it allows for us to see that their commitment to something is their vision. It's less about the competition. It's about their vision for supporting something all the way through in a way that helps them see their creation come. And how to, and that doesn't have to just be in one setting. I'm not talking about creative settings. It can be in any place. It can be education. It could be the workplace. It could be anything where like their energy can sometimes be really positive if we are dealing with a person who has positive intention. So, it's a very different way of viewing work and a person's influence, but just letting them be in their element though. Letting them be in their element. You may not understand what they're trying to do. And that's hard sometimes. Like, if you have a Capricorn boss and a Pisces, what do you do? Wait, what are we doing? That's not how we do it. So Pisces, sometimes you do have to let them be in their element and do things the way that usually there's a vision, there's a reason they're doing it that way. And I think that because Pisces is able to connect to something sometimes some people can't, in terms of their vision and their creativity, and in terms of like what they've decided, you sometimes have to understand there might be an intrinsic reason. It could be, I don't know, working on the pipes. Sometimes it's a construction worker or something, working on something. And you're like, whoa, what do you, but they're like, no, there's a new way to do this, a different way to do this. Nope, that's not right. I don't feel that's right, And so I think sometimes you could sometimes see that kind of come through. That is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and make sure you subscribed.